Thank you so much for joining me today. So we are going to be working with brackets, so expanding and then factorizing. So I've got a couple of questions over here. I just want you to think about when we've got a number next to a bracket, it means times. So this number needs to times by everything inside the bracket. Now, normally with order of operation, we will do the inside first. But we don't know what C and D is, so we can expand it out. So when you've got a number on the outside, it needs to times by 8C, and it also needs to times by 5D. So everything inside the bracket. So let's work through this one together. 6 times 8C, so 6 times 8 equals 48. So 6 times 8C equals 48C. Minus 5D times 6. 5 times 6 equals 30. So minus 30D. So they are exactly the same. We've just expanded it out. Let's have a go at this second question. Now, we've got two lots of brackets. So remember, when you got a number on the outside, it has to times by everything inside the bracket. Likewise with this number, and it must multiply by everything inside the bracket. So let's have a go. 5m times n is just 5mn plus 4 times 5m. What's 4 times 5? It's 20m. And then we move on to the next bracket. 3n times k equals 3nk. 3n times 2n. 3 times 2 equals 6. And m. Now one thing I've noticed just then, we've got mn and we've got mn. So those are like terms. So when we've expanded, we can also simplify. Now those are the two the only like terms that we have. So it's like we can add when we talk about apples and apples, but not apples and pears. So these are the same. So we can go, we've got 6 apples and we've got 5 apples. How many do we have in total? 6 plus 5 equals 11. 11 apples. So 11 mn. Then I'll just add the rest. 20m plus 3nk. And that is the simplest form that we can put it in right now. So we've been expanding. Now we need to think about factorizing. And factorizing is the opposite. So for example, if I put 40d plus 10d squared e. I would like to think about what is common between both of these. What is common? The common factor. So I know they both got d. So let's take one of those d's. Out of 40 and 10, what's the common factor? The highest common factor is 10. So our common factor that we are going to be using today is 10d. So that means I take the 10d out and I put everything else that's left inside brackets. So what's 40d divided by 10d equals 4. Put the plus sign. If I'm dividing this side by 10d, the 10 will be gone. Remember, d squared's 2d, so we've still got 1d left, and e. So 10d in brackets 4 plus de. Let's double check this answer based on what we've been doing with expanding. Remember with expanding, the outside number next to the bracket multiplies by everything inside the bracket. It's always good to double check our answers. 10d times 4, so 10 times 4 equals 40, so 40d plus 10d times de, so that's 10, 2 lots of d, which is d squared, and e. And we get back to exactly the same answer. Hopefully that helps you out with understanding the relationship with expanding and factorizing when we are working with brackets. And I really hope that you will be double checking your answers, especially when we're expanding and factorizing. That will really help you be able to understand if you are doing all the steps correctly. If you need any extra assistance, feel free to send me a message on YouTube and I'll get back to you with another video.